Welcome back to the Profits of IT. I'm Jim Punzenberger, your host and founder and creator of ManageProspectingSystem.com, which is done for you authority content, LinkedIn outreach, targeted email, and the backdoor method into your ideal prospects. So after the show, be sure to check out ManageProspectingSystem.com. I'm excited today to have Siva with me, who is the founder of AI20 Labs, a bootstrapped AI transformation firm and he went from bootstrap to cash flow positive with no outside funding. His walk-up song is 18 Till I Die. Siva, welcome. Give us the 30 seconds on what AI20 Labs does and a little bit more on yourself.
Yeah, yeah. So I started this company named AI20 Labs. It's close to 2 years now. I think my main motivation and purpose of starting this company is to help businesses, whether it's startups or mid-sized enterprises, with their AI transformation. I realized we're going through different transformations in technology. There was this digital transformation, there was this cloud transformation. Now we're living in the world of AI transformation. And we've been helping multiple businesses in the last 2 years on their transformation. Apart from this, I've been in the industry for like 25 plus years. I worked for large tech before, like Meta, Indeed, Boeing, CDK Global, quite a bit of experience. And that entrepreneur itch in me helped me and promoted me to start this company.
So I love to ask entrepreneurs about a truth bomb moment, or a truth bomb, I should say, not necessarily a moment, but a truth bomb is something that, most people in the industry would scratch their head at. And you said something that I think most AI founders would never admit publicly. You said building has never been easier, and that you used to think building was 80% of the work. Now you realize that it's really the other way around. It's building is 20% of the work, validation is 80% of the work. When did this hit you? Was there a specific moment at AI20 Labs where you realized this? And tell us more about that, please.
Yeah. So, before starting AI20 Labs, obviously much before AI has come, everyone from a technology perspective, I was always in the technology. Each one of us have certain skills, right? So we are very good at what we are, and we are paid for that. And each one is having niche and all of that, right? And at that time, building was harder. It took a long time to build, whether it's a product or whether it's selling or whatever craft you're doing. You have to apply your intellect to do that, and it used to take a long time, and you're paid premium price for that. But now with AI, you know, building is much more easy. Obviously, in the last 2, 3 years, back when ChatGPT came in 2020, that was just an inception. But I think now, with regards to writing code or taking an idea and then working with an AI tool to build it, it's become a lot more easy. And it's really shrunk the time to build. Anybody can build now. But the challenge is after you build, you got to sell, right? You got to reach out to customer and somebody has to use it. And in a crowded market like this, for the same problem, there are multiple solutions. So how do you stand out, or how do you actually reach out to your target customers and sell them, or actually have them use it? Forget about having them pay, but they got to use and give you meaningful feedback, which is hard work because people who wants to use also they're confused which one I should use, right? So that's one biggest challenge I see. And much before that, the temptation in a person will make them build right away because it's easy to build, but they're not investing time to do enough validation, whether it's the right thing or not, because it's hard work. You got to talk to the people and all. So this movement actually hit me like last 1 year or so, because we've been building concepts and ideas at AH20 Labs, but not a lot we are able to sell. And for example, we incubated an idea called Dream CRM. Great product, has been a challenge. So those are some of the moments where I started identifying building is if it's different now.
Hmm. So, uh, how have you gone about validating, the things that you're building?
Yeah, that's a good one. So, and that's something I'm actively identifying opportunities to invest in that space. In fact, I'm also reached out to another co-founder for a company named YouGreenlight.ai that's essentially focused on validating. So essentially taking a concept, doing real interviews, doing market research, understanding what is missing and all of that, and giving a lot of optics to founders on where they can invest and what are the things that they need to do before they actually jump on an idea. That's something that I'm actually doing. But for my existing projects, when one of my team, in fact, very recently, one of my team said, "Hey, we want to sell a product to different businesses that don't have a website. And we want to sell a website to them, right? That's great. Let's go validate." So I think, instead of building the whole thing, we just have a concept and prototype. And I've actually asked my team members to go and reach out to those businesses that don't have a website and send a message saying, "Hey, you know what? You don't have a website. How do you want a website?" So we did not actually build a website, but we built a proof of concept and this and that. So the point here is you have if someone has an idea, who's your prospective customers? You got to reach out to those customers and then present your thought and see if they really believe that's the right thing for them or not. So that's the kind of the shift in the mentality. So all my team members, all my builders, we have builders, all the engineers who
Hmm.
build stuff. I've actually asked them to become more like a salesman or more like a marketing people. You spend like 20 to 40% of your capacity in actually doing that before you build it. So that's the kind of the shift I've introduced in my organization. And also I have another go-to-market team that actually helps our team with the content and presentation. So those are some of the tweaks I made in my execution model to make sure that we are thinking through those facets before getting addicted to the building.
So let's shift gears here a moment, and I'd like to ask you about your superpower. And superpower, I like to talk about because most entrepreneurs, executives have something that they do better than most, and that helps help them succeed in their career. You said your superpower is listening closely, staying curious about what drives someone, and shaping their passion into something bigger. For introverts that are listening, it's um, probably a natural thing to be curious, but shaping someone else's passion into something bigger. And I think that's a builder's instinct. How do you do that without imposing your own vision on somebody else?
Yeah. Um, I always believe that um, if you genuinely are curious and interested in what the other person is saying, why they are saying, it'll actually it'll give you a different perspective, what they want to do, and if they're part of your ecosystem, what is that you want to do, and how do you connect the dots? So that's essentially what I focus on, right? So when I actually talk to my team, I first start with what is in it for them? Why are they associated with me? Why they want to do this? And what is their passion and all of that, right? So first I uh, get an understanding of where they want to go, and then I will actually help them. How are they planning to go about it? What's their methodology? What's their model? How are they approaching it? And I kind of challenge them to see if the path that they're wanting to take is the right path or not, and what kind of challenges they see. So it's if you convert the conversation around them, they're much more inclined to kind of you build relation with them because they really think you're working for them. You want to make sure that they're successful, so you want to operate at their level and then lift them to a higher level, right? And it's always you help them see what they're missing because many times people want to pursue something based on what they know, but there are certain blind spots, there are certain things they are not aware, and that's what I help them. For example, this whole build versus sell model, right? This is a shift I've actually introduced to in my organization now, and a lot of my people have never sold anything. They're mostly like builders.
Mhm.
There's a big shift, and but for that, I cannot tell them to stop building because that's their core. They got a healthy balance, right? So you got to nurture it in a way where You put them on this reaching out to customers, talking to customers, understanding their pain points. At the same time, they also need to invest time to do some proof of concepts and kind of healthy balance, right? So I think that's the kind of the mindset I have, and I keep doing that with every person that I interact with, and understanding their needs and positioning how that can fit in the broader ecosystem.
That's a great thought. So, I also wanted to ask you about your $1 million learning moment, something that you really learned from in your career. And I believe you mentioned when we talked before that you trusted somebody you'd worked with for a long time, like 10 years, and you ended up getting burned by them. Tell us more about that and what happened and what you learned from that.
Yeah, I think this is one of the hard lesson I had. Actually, my dad used to tell me quite many times that okay, you know someone 10 years ago, and so that person's personality or how they act and behave doesn't mean that they might be the same person now, because a lot would have changed in their personal life, professional life. They would have learned few things, and their needs are different. He used to tell me quite many times, but you only learn by experiences, no matter what, how many people share you, right? So this is one of the experience I personally faced sometime recently or few years ago. Is I had good buddy of mine. We used to know each other for many years, and we started a venture. And I kind of invested quite a bit of my time, money, and effort. But unfortunately, I've realized after some time the commitment is not the same, and the person's interest has been different. And you trust somebody and you wanted to stay longer based on your past experiences, but I've realized you only know a portion of the other person. So I just realized that you have to be careful when you're working with anyone in professional world. You got to define boundaries, you got to clearly mark what is expectations, and you don't push too much from your side if the other side is also not doing the same type of effort. So you got to be cautious, and you got to be cognizant, and you got to cut your losses earlier than later, right? I think
Hmm.
it's a sunk cost fallacy, right? Sometimes when you invest, you say, you know what, let's push more, but it won't get you anywhere. So I think that's my hard lesson is be careful when you trust. I'm generally an optimistic person. I always believe the person operates with the right intent. There's nothing wrong with it, but you have to keep on looking at what's the outcome, how is it shaping, and you got to be it's okay to be a little playing devil's advocate and move on.
Yeah, so you mentioned, do you think you waited too long in this situation?
Yeah, I think I did wait longer than I anticipated, but sometimes the journey is also it's harder, right? Because the other person will not actually show their true colors or whatever it may be. So it's very hard to understand what's in the other person's mind, right? So, and sometimes it's like when you sow the seeds, for the fruit to come, you got to wait. So you can't cut earlier. So you got to have patience as well. But you will sometimes it takes longer time for you to realize. But you got to move on. I mean, it happens, but you got to move on, and you don't dwell on those things.
Got it. So, Siva, the floor is yours now. Tell us more about what you got you excited at AI20 Labs and how to connect with you as somebody would want to learn more.
Yeah, I think I really got excited with AI20 for multiple reasons. After I left my corporate job, I wanted to build a product. I've spent some time building a product, or I had a startup. I've started a company with another person. But while I did that, I realized when I'm only working on one product, you're only serving one product. But I realize there's a lot of businesses and a lot of companies that need help from a technology standpoint, and help their business grow. That's when I realized I want to be in that space as again just focusing on one product. That's why I was excited to start AI20 Labs, and now I help multiple startups and businesses and enterprises, and I also help a lot of other people come work on this mission, right? So this is what is really exciting for me right now, because the value I can generate through this setup is helping different businesses transform faster in a better way. Because one of my other superpower is understanding someone's business needs and leveraging technology to convert that business needs into more meaningful. So I think that skill of mine and also investing in people, I want to really take on this business which we have into a next level. So that's what excites me. And the beauty here is the space I'm in, the opportunities are endless because I'm not tied to a specific vertical. Right now at A20, we help a few industries in healthcare. We help few industries in media and publishing space. We help a few businesses in banking and regulation space. So multiple verticals. So that's where the opportunity is endless.
And what would be a great way to get in touch with you?
Yeah, so I'm generally active on LinkedIn right now because any person who is doing business or who wants to connect, LinkedIn is the best place. I'm active on LinkedIn and I can be reached out to emails. Obviously, I'm not very active on Facebook, though I worked at Facebook before. But yeah, LinkedIn is the best place to start with reaching out to me.
Well, viewers, check the show notes for a link to Siva's LinkedIn and go ahead and reach out to him on LinkedIn. Well, any final thoughts before we wrap up here?
Yeah, so I think my advice to the viewers or my perspective is obviously the world is different now. I think we are living in a world of uh, AI and how AI can actually help everyone uplift their true potential. I think we just have to use AI effectively to be more productive, and we should treat it as a complement, not a compete. And as long as we see it as a compliment, I think I believe people will be having a great time over long durations.
Definitely, it's meant to help people be more efficient, right? Not just
Right.
replace.
That's right. It's not just efficient, but also people will be effective because they'll have newer ways of doing things, both in personal and professional life. So that's my thought for the day.
Well, thank you, Siva. This has been Profits of IT. And Siva, you're an amazing guy, bootstrapped, starting, and still building, still resilient even after that. So check out the show notes for information on how to connect with Siva. Until next time, I'm Jim Punzenberger, creator of ManageProspectingSystem.com. Be sure to check out ManageProspectingSystem.com. Stay hydrated and caffeinated. Bye for now.
Thank you.